Penultimate Turkey Hunting and Deticking. William Hovey Smith, 2022. This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And we're doing a golf cart turkey deployment this morning. Yesterday and the day before and the day before that, I took my new lawnmower and I cut trails so that I could bring the golf cart safely back on parts of my farm that I haven't been able to access for a couple of years. And turkey hunting in Georgia this year has been grim, not only by me but by others as well. So I've opened up some new areas and we're using the golf cart to go back and prospect with them and see if we can strike some turkeys. I haven't heard anything yet this morning. Well, the sun is up. This morning there was quite a bit of bird noise, but no turkeys, not one yet. Tried some crow calls, nothing yet. We have some owl calls we'll try, and then we'll try some turkey calls and see if we can get some response from something. And from that, try to locate and see if we can get close and actually work some birds. The little cart here has really helped, enabled me to get back quite rapidly this morning compared to walking back. And yeah, doing good. We tried our turkeys this morning from about, well, a dozen different locations, all the way down my length of my farm. And we didn't get a single response from a hen or a tom. So just absolutely zip. So we pulled out, we went back, we ate, we let them rest for a couple hours. And so now we're back in early afternoon. And by this time the toms should have bred the hens should be going to nest, and the toms are perhaps walking around a little bit looking for other hens. So I find this early afternoon time really a prime time to go get them, if I can locate them. So what I'm going to do is go back to a place where we actually tried once before today, very close to the pond, in about the middle of the back of my farm, closest to water. So we're going to set out our decoy spread. We haven't even got it out of the cart yet. And just sit there for a few hours, if need be, and see if we can either call something or hear something. I have my turkey decoy set up, and I'm going to be located at the base of a pine tree over there, which is about 30 yards from the decoy spread. Which is fine because I am using a muzzleloading rifle, which can easily reach that distance and much longer actually. So I'm in good shape there. So we're going to go back and just sit down and be quiet for a bit and start calling and see what, if any, response we get. And here is where I will sit for the next 2 hours. Now, a logical question is, what do you do for 2 hours? Now, we live in the cell phone generation, and I'm actually carrying one with me, just in case I get stuck back here for some reason or other, and I will have an emergency outlet to call to. But it does not get turned on while I'm otherwise turkey hunting. I don't look at it. I don't check emails. I don't do any of that. So what do I do? Well, I'm a writer. So I write. At the moment, I'm working on a new novel, Moving with Baby. And I have finished the first chapter. And I sent it to my agent in Hollywood. And he looked at it and he sent me a 3-word message back, saying that he thought it was wonderful and well polished, which is high praise indeed. So now I have a couple of hours, so I'm going to mentally write my plot. I have some characters to get in some situations. This is a situation comedy, so I have to compose some. That's what I'm doing right now. I have to think of some appropriate dialogue, which I am doing, and that I can do without access to a computer or a screen or a tablet or anything else. Now we do the writing up here, and then when we get back, it's a fairly rapid process. Clink, 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 and send off this scene into the bowels of the computer. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now I'm also going to be trying my calls from time to time and see how they do and see if I get any turkey responses. Not too often, not too aggressively. About every 15 minutes or so I'll call, sometimes with the same call, sometimes with a different call, sometimes making a different call with the same call box or slate or whatever. And so that's going to be our procedure. Until Death Do You Part, an American family meets their Sicilian cousins. A romance adventure by William Hovey Smith. A vendetta killing, forced marriages, lust, love, hate, and revenge stalk Sicily's ruins in this land of blood, fire, and terror. An American family is cast into a world they do not know and are bound by ties of blood, honor, and respect to an uncertain future as they are hunted by a rival mob. 5 years in the writing, on location in the American Southwest, Louisiana, and Sicily. Until Death Do You Part is available as softcover, ebook, or audiobook from book sources worldwide. Well, we've been here our allotted couple of hours, and we haven't had anything in the way of turkeys. I did have a pair of hawks come through hunting, and we also had a flock of buzzards that came in to roost in these leafy tops and I think just cool off a little bit. One of them flew down quite low and roosted about 5 feet above the ground and gave these turkey decoys a good look. But they did not come down to the ground level or do anything with the decoys. Now there is one thing evil about sitting on the ground here in Georgia, and that is ticks. We've got them in several different varieties and they carry several different pathogens. And I've already picked 2 off my boots and 2 off me. And doubtless I've got them on me. So all of these clothes are going to get washed, and I'm going to get washed and showered and well picked over by the time I get done with it. The worst I ever encountered so far as Georgia ticks went was on a hunt I had on one of Georgia's coastal islands, and I'll not be too specific to protect the innocent and guilty, because I came back in bad shape. That island did have a shower, and when I showered I found I was absolutely covered with tiny seed ticks. Looked more like dots of pepper on my skin. I went out and one of the hunt supervisors was there, and another guy, another hunter, and then a lady volunteered who helped with the hunt. So they proceeded to help get some of these ticks off me. I don't know how many there were, but I strongly suspect there were certainly more than 100. Well, at any rate, this somewhat excited the lady, I gather, because she said that she would do anything for me. Well, I wasn't too swift on the uptake there. And at any rate, she and that other guy disappeared for a time. And I will leave it to your imagination as to what they might have done. But come full dark, the guy was looking for that docent to take back, and she was nowhere to be found. Well, she was found, and they did go back somewhat after dark. But that was the worst I've encountered with ticks. So if you come down here and you hunt anywhere in the Georgia woods, or actually anywhere in the woods in North America these days, that's something you certainly have to be careful of in both deer and turkey season, unless it's also already freezing cold. And that's a condition we seldom have down here. So we pretty well have ticks during all our hunting season. So just something to watch out for. Except for some pot and mouth calls I have in my turkey vest, this is what I go in the woods with. 3 turkey decoys, a turkey fan, a couple of box calls, the stakes for the decoys, a cynical rifle, and also a cushion. We've loaded up our golf cart for what is very nearly the last foray back in our turkey woods. This is Saturday the 14th, and our season ends tomorrow. So we have everything in the cart now. We have our decoys, we have our muzzleloading stuff, we have all our calls, we have our gun in the case back there, and more stuff beside. And so we're going to go out there and see if we can get it done. We had perhaps an inch of rain over the last day, and our grain is really looking good. This is going to help that head out very nicely. That's rather tall wheat there. Some of those stalks are more than 4 feet tall. And not much has been happening in this food plot this year. I do have a hen that likes to nest up here, and I've seen her tracks occasionally, but I haven't seen any gobbler activity in here at all this year. Although I have killed gobblers out of this field before, but not now. This is a clump of young persimmon trees, and they don't have any persimmons on them this year. They're too young. But some of those in the larger trees in the background are actually starting to bear a little bit, as well as crabapples, both of which the deer love. And so this is a natural and self-generating food source that I'm using to bring critters into this food plot, even if I don't do anything at all to it. On my sandy roads, I'm seeing a few fresh deer track. I'm not seeing any turkey track yet. So no indication that they're moving in this direction, or have moved at any rate this morning. So we're going to continue back in our woods and try several more places and see how we do. As I'm riding, I'm looking for fresh signs of leaf disturbance where turkeys have been feeding, and I haven't encountered anything yet. This is an area that I cleared to and set up before by the pond, and no sign of any recent activities here. I'm going to call and see if I get any responses. It's possible that the turkeys still might be on the roost. Make your own job, anytime, anywhere, at any age. A business book for everyone. Create your own job ideas, raise immediate cash, make a better job where you work, copyright your work, patent your inventions, form your own company, plan for a fun retirement business, and leave a legacy. The Kirkus Review of Books considered this a worthy book for the newbie entrepreneur, and the U.S. Review of Books put it on their recommended list. Make Your Own Job, Anytime, Anywhere, at any age is a softcover, e-book, audiobook, and is available from booksellers worldwide. I've been sitting here calling, but the only one that seems to be paying any attention is my decoys here. absolutely nothing. I'm seeing a couple of fresh deer tracks here, and where an armadillo has come through, but no turkey sign. Turkeys really like to walk this ridge, but I cannot see any sign of any recent stuff going on here. My calling here at this drop-off down by the creek has generated all kinds of sounds from other birds, but no turkey. I'm heading down a trail, and this hasn't been cut with a lawnmower, and I'm pulling these piles of downed saplings and limbs out of here so they don't tangle up the mower blades, because I need to cut it out to keep these emerging trees from growing. The golf cart with those taller ATV tires on it does provide a little more ground clearance, and that helps get me over some of these irregularities where this road was pushed through. However, there are some cables back there that connect the brakes, and if there's too much brush in there, they can catch on those and tear those cables out, which of course I don't want. This pile of hardwood debris could just snarl up a lawnmower's blades fiercely. Even though this stuff has been dead for a couple of years, it's still tough. The noise of my pulling and throwing out this stuff out of the trail elicited a call from a hen. And she's close. She's right over there, probably within 20 yards or so. So, okay, at least there are turkeys in this general area. Well, that's a favorable sign. I called, but she did not call back, and no toms responded either. But, well, at least I got a turkey. The wrong sex, but it's a turkey. Although there's really no way for you to know it, the vegetation is so thick right now. We are really at the jumping off place. 30 feet below this location is the creek valley itself. And that's Williamson Swamp Creek, and it is just like it sounds. Yeah, it's a swamp down there. And there is a beaver pond further up, about 1/8 of a mile. And sometimes geese are nesting in it, and they probably are now, as a matter of fact. And the road parallels the edge here, but we've cleared all we're going to clear today, because I really want to kill a turkey, or at least try. So we know we have a pen moving up the slope there, and maybe Tom's with her and maybe without. So we are going to call here and see if we get any responses, and if not, go back up and set up at the food plot at the head of this trail. For the penultimate day of turkey season in Georgia, we are as well positioned as we can get. We are in an area where we know at least there is one hen turkey. Not very good, but that's the best we got. We have our decoys out. We're in a blind on a food plot where I have previously shot deer and seen turkeys. We have our tom decoy over there by the feeder, which doesn't have any feed in it and hadn't for some time. And then we swing around here, and we have another decoy in that direction to cover that road. And perhaps we will have thunderstorms this afternoon. So I'm already in a blind. I've got all my stuff here. Speaking of stuffs, we have a more than ample variety of calls. We have our thermocell, gun, loading materials for my muzzleloader, vest, which has some additional things in it, and also food, drinks, and something to eat with. So we're well fixed here to stay. And that's exactly what we intend to do. Well, I need to go back to the house and let Hound Doggy out. And also take care of a couple of emails. But before I go, I do have another deticking story. And as an epilogue to the last one, I was informed by the island manager that deticking was not a part of the services provided by the management on that island, and that would never ever happen again. Well, I hope you don't get similarly infected. My other episode with serious ticks was in South Africa on a Cape buffalo hunt. And this was early in the season, and there was plenty of foliage on the ground and leaves on the trees and so on and so on. And we were working a herd of Cape buffalo. And as we walked through the grass where that herd had been, all of us, that is me and Ernst and the tracker, just got covered in small tiny ticks. Well, we did not take a buffalo out of that herd. There was just too many buffalo. We never could get a big one separated, and everyone was sort of fearful about what the rest of the herd might do if I took one. So we let them go their merry way and tried to find a solitary buffalo, which we ultimately did. But when I got back at the camp, there was a nice shower and so on and so on and so on, so I got as many of those things off me as I could and thought I'd done a reasonably good job. But I found that I had missed one. And that was under my watch band. And he got me. And after that, I noticed a ring around the wound where he had bitten, similar to what we get from Lyme disease here in the East. And so when I left that hunt, I stopped by a pharmacy in the nearest town and got a shot of antibiotics from the pharmacist and also some pills. Now, in third world countries, and particularly in Africa, the pharmacist oftentimes will act and actually give things like injections and pills that we need in the U.S. to go to a doctor to get. He's seen these diseases before and he knows what to do and so on and so on. So I didn't have any problems with it and he didn't have any problems with it. But at any rate, when I did get back to the States, I had some more symptoms and then went to a doctor here and was diagnosed ultimately with African tick fever. But that again was diagnosed and treated. And so that passed all right, although the gals at the hospital thought I had to draw lots to see who was going to take care of me, not knowing what exactly I might have brought back with me from South Africa. But yeah, this tick business worldwide can be a very serious business. Based on my own experiences, I incorporated an episode of tick picking in my current novel with some rather humorous highlights, as one might expect. A young couple who sort of made love out in the weeds and regretted it, and then found themselves picked by both sets of in-laws, as well as a couple of teenage gals. So that turned out to be a very humorous episode to put in my novel, based loosely on my own experiences. It's getting close enough to sunset now that we're going to be pulling out for the day. The full moon is coming out. The fireflies are out. And I'm listening for fly-ups, but I have not heard any. Well, this is the first time we're actually going home using the lights on our golf cart here. And it's nice to know they really work. My late brother-in-law's club cab golf cart worked well after repairs and a new battery pack. It got me and my gear back in the woods earlier and more silently than my walking out. The downsides compared to my lawn tractors are its tall cab, which means I have to use a pole saw to remove overhanging branches, and its comparatively low ground clearance. Lift kits are available for most golf carts. Setting in a blind as I did is not the most effective way to kill turkeys, but it may be your only option if they aren't saying anything. My new novel, Moving with Baby, is progressing. The mentally written material on tick picking is now Chapter 3. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 900 videos, go to my website, hoviesmith.com. To find out more about my acclaimed business book, Make Your Own Job, Anytime, Anywhere, at any age, go to createyourownjobsecurity.com. To discover how my novel, screenplay, and movie project is coming along, go to bloodties.net. Hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Goodbye and God bless.